And there's our guest. We're just waiting for them to join us on, let me call that stage. Hello!
Hey,
How's it going?
good. How are you? It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to see you again. I'm very excited to have you here. So just to really greet our audience, I would just do a little greeting. So, hello everyone. Welcome to this final IG Founders Live Chat of 2021. My name is Barsha. I am the Community and Events Coordinator at Volition. And with us today is Melodie Padula, who is the founder of Curù Skin. Melodie, thank you so much for joining us today. It's such a pleasure to have you here. You know, over the past couple of months, we've had the opportunity to learn a little bit about Curù Skin. So today we have this chance to dive deeper into the journey of Curù Skin and to learn more about you. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's really exciting. And this is kind of like the first kind of like opportunity, I guess, to really share the story like full and talk about it. And yeah, I'm really excited. So thank you.
Awesome. So, like I mentioned, Melodie is the founder of Curù Skin, which is a skincare company with the mission to deliver superior all-natural sun care, specifically formulated to be gentle and effective for all skin types, tones, and sensitivities. I think it's such an important conversation to have, so I'm excited to learn more about, how it all started. Just a little bit of context. So, like I mentioned, we connected with Melodie about a couple months ago. Um, Volition, along with Canadian Small Business Women, hosted a Young Entrepreneurs Pitch Conference. And so, out of over 60 applicants, Melodie and Curù Skin made it to the top 12 semi-finalists in October, and then further went to the top 5 finalists who were able to pitch at the conference. So it is so exciting, to see your journey just over the past couple of months. And so, again, the purpose of this chat is to share your work with our network as well as yours. So, to start us off, Melodie, what I would like to ask you is, could you please tell us a little bit more about yourself? So, what do you do and what Curù Skin is all about?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess first you gave like a wonderful introduction of the product. So it is an after sun care product, completely natural. The ingredients are 100% active, so there's no fillers in them. There's a purpose and intention behind each one. And they are also deeply rooted in, I guess, like my Sicilian heritage, and I'll talk about the brand a little bit as well. But that's just something that is really, really important to the whole story and even how I found a solution to my acne. So um, I guess my background, I studied media communications at the University of Guelph, and I think that that was something that really helped me like getting this business going was understanding, branding and communications and being able to really like um, have what it takes to learn a lot of this stuff along the way, like creating a logo, creating packaging, like all of it was done on my own with tons of support from other people, like the friends that are graphic designers as well. Um, just have like a second set of eyes, but that is my background. And then I guess just relating to the brand, it was really important for me to, because the ingredients were really inspired by that heritage, to tie that back into the brand. So the name Curù is from the Sicilian word, which translates to like sweetheart in English. So it's a really caring word, and Curù Skin is the sun care that truly cares, and I think that it was most fitting to kind of use a word like that, but also ties back to the roots of the company and how it all got started.
Thank you so much. I was actually curious about what Curù means, so thank you for sharing. Um, yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing your background as well. It's just, very nice to learn about how exactly it all started, where you applied what you learned through your academic years and you put it in practice here. Now, you did mention about, your heritage and how it comes from Sicily, and I did do some research about Curù Skin as well, and learn about, how you were born and raised in Toronto, but you spent a lot of summers in Sicily. And so could you just walk us through a little bit about the origin itself of Curù Skin?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess like what it really starts from, and it's something that I don't really talk too much about, is my struggle with acne. That was something that was very difficult. If you've ever experienced acne, or if you know anyone that has, there's really strong, significant like psychological effects, and like it really affects a person's self-esteem. And I talked a bit about this as well, like in the pitch, just like the statistics on, what people with acne deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's deeper. It's deeper than the skin, right? So it was really just a point where my acne was at its worst, and I really felt like my self-esteem was at an all-time low, and I literally was praying for, I was praying just to kind of like, you know, be, I guess like to find a solution, like praying for a solution or praying for like a light in this like darkness that I was feeling, kind of like to turn this negative experience into something positive, I guess. And that's when, my mentality on my skin started to change. I started to think about it in a more positive light. I started to be, less harsh, and I wanted to take more of a natural, gentle approach. So I kind of feel like Curù Skin is that light in that difficult time. Like I knew there was something positive that had to come out of this difficult thing that I was experiencing. Um, so basically, at that time, I had a trip to Sicily with my sisters and some friends, and that's where it was the first time I was able to reconnect with like our roots and where our family came from. We got to meet some cousins that we haven't seen for years, and I guess it was just all the stuff happening at the same time that made me realize, like, I've been looking at everything that we're bombarded with day to day in the skincare industry, but like, why don't I take a simpler approach, look to like my roots, where I'm coming from, and see like what's from this land that is so beneficial, unique, and so special. And that sort of started to guide my research in terms of like the ingredients and natural, like a natural healing approach to the skin. And then again, like that's where I discovered a lot of those ingredients. And then, like I mentioned, just staying true to your roots and like not letting that culture die, and like that a part of you, die. And you know, Sicilian is a language that, like each region in Italy and other parts of Europe, like they all have their own different languages that they, or variations or dialects that they speak. And as people move from the south to go find work, or the workforce and things like that, it gets lost. So I think that keeping like a word um, connected to that dialect, really like connect to the brand, was really important to just keep the culture alive, and to celebrate it, all the amazing things that come from that land. And yeah.
Awesome. Wow, that's incredible. I really love how you took your own personal experience and just worked on that and did your own research as well, while implementing and including your heritage and your culture in it. It's just like a beautiful mix, and it's very refreshing to see, for a brand to actually bring all of that together. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Now, again, while I did some research on Curry Skin, I did see that you mentioned, for all skin tones and skin types and sensitivities. And so, talking from personal experience, I'm a person of color. I'm from an island. I moved to Canada like 6 years ago. But, for the majority of my life, I've been surrounded by beaches, and all of our holidays and vacations would be at the beach or at a resort. But believe it or not, I never actually realized or was introduced to the importance of sun care at all. And I actually learned about that this year while doing a research for some kind of skincare routine that I would like to apply. And so, could you just share a little bit about what you discovered kind of through your research about, the importance of sun care, sorry, and even, how it applies to all skin types, and basically what you found out through your research?
Yeah, so I actually started out, it was never my intention to create a company or like this brand. It was really to find a solution for myself, for my skin. And it's when I found one of the key ingredients, which is, well, some of the key ingredients, the ones that are definitely deeply rooted in the Sicilian and Italian like botanical tradition. So that would be like the borage, the apricot, the immortelle. Um, I found that those were so helpful for my acne. It definitely made a difference. And once I found that it made that difference, I was like, okay, I need to share this with other people because I know what they're experiencing. And so basically, it was all just through the research development of the product, of the ingredients, and through that process, while making my considerations, if I found an ingredient that was really great for after sun and like eczema, for example, but it was lightening, known to be skin lightening, I didn't want to include it because I wanted to, celebrate the natural skin tones that would be using the product. And I think that that's something very important for, people of color to, not lighten their skin and keep it natural and beautiful. And then, so yeah, really it was just, through the research, finding different ingredients that would serve the purpose and meet the needs of, different skin sensitivities like eczema. I was considering my sister that has eczema, my mom with, mature skin. And then even like, I'm from Toronto and just Canada in general, and just thinking about my friends too. Like all my friends are, they're Filipino, they're from Trinidad, they're from so many different places in different parts of the world, and they were definitely at the heart of the formulation as well. So I think that in terms of, especially relating to like the different skin tones, I know that people with, darker skin tones, one of the skin issues that they struggle with is hyperpigmentation, scarring on the face. So again, selecting ingredients that would target the hyperpigmentation, heal the scar tissue and whatever it may be, but also again, not lightening up the skin tone, just balancing it out and celebrating them in that way.
Awesome, that's incredible. Yeah, and I think it's very important to, have the conversation because maybe it is a flaw in the beauty and skincare industry where, the basis, kind of like the foundation all the time is, the fair skinned person with no other imperfections in a way, I would say, in the terms that society uses. So
Yeah.
imperfections in these terms. And so to really look into that and find ingredients that are proper and appropriate for different skin types and sensitivities is it's important, and I want to thank you for that. And I think I speak for everyone who experiences the same kind of like situations, or even just anyone who has these kind of skin sensitivities, that experiences the difficulty to find like a product for that skin type
Yeah.
itself. So yeah, thank you so much for all of the research that you've done and really focusing on how you can bring a product and ingredients that would match those skin types and sensitivities.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Melody, you did mention that it was never your intention to actually make it into like a company or something as big as it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you are here, we would like to know maybe what's your vision of Curù Skin? Where do you see Curù Skin in the future, or where would you like to see Curù Skin?
Yeah, so I think that definitely just being a leader in sun care is the vision. And especially around, the unfortunate like misconception that people with darker skin tones or even olive skin tone don't need sun protection or don't need sun care. I think that's something that's so important to understand about Kudu skin and the whole like motivation behind the ingredients and everything is that it's truly the only sun care out there that is after sun skincare. So like when someone gets sunburned, you have a sunburn for a couple of days and you think it's over, but there's actually negative effects, harmful effects of, you know, UV damage that happens at a cellular level and so on. So the goal and mission with Curù Skin is to just kind of be that leader that, you know, takes care of your skin even after, strengthens the skin before, like prior to sun exposure, extreme sun exposure. But then definitely like caring for whatever those effects are from the sun, whether it's sunspots, collagen depletion, fine lines. And then I guess also just, you know, becoming that leader in sort of like changing the way that people think about sun care and after sun care as well. Again, for those different skin types and skin tones, you know, everybody needs them. And, you know, if anyone's interested, I can definitely send you over like the research that we've done. But of course, skin cancer rates are most frequent in people with lighter skin tones. But what people don't know is that when someone with a darker skin tone is diagnosed with skin cancer, might not be as frequent as someone with a lighter skin tone. It's actually, you know, discovered at a later, more serious stage, which is very important for that messaging to be talked about, for people of color to be represented in these conversations, in marketing, in messaging, and yeah, that's definitely the goal. And then expanding, of course, to other really wonderful after sun care products.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, every time you're sharing some insights with us, it's just making me think more about how the conversation about sun care is not done in depth, and people are not informed as much as they should. For instance, you know, I see one of the comments in the chat, um, or someone is saying they had no idea that there were after effects, and I was just thinking the same. I was like, okay, I never thought about that. You know, when you talk about sun care, like, okay, let me just put some lotion and I'm done. I'm done.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm done for the day. Like, we're not informed about the actual effects of sun and how sun care needs to be implemented in your routine, and the after effects as well. Like, this is something that I've never heard of, basically.
Yeah, and most people haven't, and yeah, it's definitely time to get that conversation going. And I think that we're going in the direction of being a leader in that kind of conversation, and even opportunities like this to start that ripple effect is really, really important.
Yeah, and also, you know, like you mentioned, this misconception of how people of color or, you know, darker skin tones don't need sun care. You know, again, talking from personal experience, I went to Italy in 2018, and we were a group of 9 students, and we're all people of color, but only 2 of us had darker skin tones. And when we were planning for like a day at the beach, and we're asking the Italian professor, for instance, and he was saying, you know, oh, make sure that you have, like, you wear sunscreen. And then he looked at the 2 of us and said, oh, you don't need it. You know, so there is this misinformation around that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So it is very exciting that Curù Skin is taking on that, and for sure, you know, we would love to see Curù Skin being the leader of that conversation as well. And so that being said, Melodie, again, you're already working on a lot of stuff. It does seem that you have a lot of big goals that you want to achieve. Is there any announcement or wins that you would like to share with our network?
I think just like launching during a pandemic has been like very interesting. Like I didn't know what it would look like, and yeah, like I never could have imagined it go the way that it did. So definitely I think that there's so many wins like along the way, which just comes down to like, you know, believing in the product, the passion for it, and problem solving, thinking on your feet and being quick. But in terms of going forward, we definitely will be hiring or like looking to take on an intern for research, also communication. So we definitely want to get that word out there. So if you do know anybody that's watching, someone who will be looking for an internship position, I know that a lot of universities are starting to, a lot of universities and college students are looking for those opportunities in the new year. I think the timing couldn't be any better for that. So yeah, lots of content, again, like the research around these topics and things like that will be coming out. Um, yeah.
Awesome. And like to seize the opportunity to actually congratulate you because launching during a pandemic is not easy. We've seen a lot of people who have tried to get it done, and since you mentioned from the beginning of this chat where a lot of things you did on your own, even though you had the support of others around you, but like the logistics, the work behind the scenes, like you did it on your own. So congratulations on that. It's really impressive. um and you mentioned looking for interns or like more research. So that being said, is there any more specific way that you think we as a community can help you achieve your goals or even just get closer to them?
Yeah, definitely. So more conversation like these, if anyone finds this conversation intriguing, surprising, confusing, like anything, I'm open to having a chat to connect. And then also definitely trying the product. If you know anyone that will be traveling during this period, I know that things are changing really quickly, but I'd love to get more and more feedback, especially from people of color, people with ranging skin types and skin conditions. Definitely, like that's the whole reason why I did create it. And really there is nothing out there that people with various skin conditions or concerns can actually trust to use on their face. A lot of the products out there are kind of like face and body, but that doesn't necessarily work when you have a condition or a concern. So yeah, definitely anyone with looking for a product like that use to try, I'd love to hear your feedback. Right now we're offering free shipping on orders that are $200 or more. So it's a great opportunity for a friend as a gift or something like that. If you're purchasing more than one, you'll definitely be able to take advantage of that free shipping option, which I think is really appealing to anyone outside of Canada, especially where shipping rates can be a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, again, thank you for sharing all the information, and for our audience here, again, just to reiterate what Melodie just said, is if there's anyone out there who has any, like sensitive skin, or if you're interested in these kinds of conversation or learning more about products as such, we encourage you to connect with Melodie and get this conversation started and go further into the conversation, and even have the chance to try out the products and give feedback, basically, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. So, there's also one thing that I would like to ask, and we'll be curious. You mentioned launching during a pandemic, and I think we can all agree that the past couple of years have been very interesting and challenging for everyone. And so, as an entrepreneur, did you have any experiences or lessons learned that you would like to share with our audience and, fellow entrepreneurs? Or even did you have any like tips that you would like to share with fellow entrepreneurs?
I would say that it's so important to just ask. Like, you won't know unless you ask, right? You won't know unless you try. So that's like the biggest thing. Like, um, when I was planning for the launch, for example, I needed to have like some photos done. And at this time, it was actually around this time last year when they were announcing that we're going to go into a lockdown before or just after Christmas time, something like that. And I had a potential studio booked for January, but that would have all been like closed and whatnot. So I was kind of thinking like, do I reach out to that studio and see like if they're willing to, and it was also a film studio, so not even for photography, it was just the location that I needed that I was looking for. And and I'm just like this little company, and I asked them and I just said, hey, this is my situation, this is what I have planned, are you open to letting me use the space? And they just said like, yes, absolutely. So I feel like a lot of, the progress that I've made was from asking, especially as an entrepreneur, when you're working alone, you might feel like, you're too small or you don't have the right resources or like who's going to give you the time of day. But if you don't ask, you'll never know. And I received everything basically from asking, but not only asking, it's not like a magic wand. I asked and I got it. There was a lot of work that would have gone into that. So like prior to reaching out, to a company or whatever it may be for support, like having all the details lined out, like telling them, like making sure I know what it is that I want before asking them for it. So yeah, definitely that. And I guess like especially during the pandemic, for anyone that may be thinking about getting a company going now, and we don't know what the next couple of months will look like, is definitely look online because there's so much support online, so many events that you can attend, and especially when you're like a solo entrepreneur, you don't have a team, but then you kind of like make your own team through your network. You know, I have my friend and cousin who are graphic designers, and it's kind of like the chance that I have to ask them a question about something. It's like in that moment they are my graphic design team. They're giving me their insight, right? And I'm so like appreciative for that. Family and friends that would review copy of my product description, like they're my editors. I have a really special friend in Italy who literally has had eyes on absolutely everything that went out prior to launching. And we always joke that he's my project manager, and it's just kind of like, it sounds silly, but it's actually true. Like I'm working alone, but you have all these people, you can create all these opportunities and this like team just by asking and networking. And I think that that's something like really, really huge.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I think it is very important to emphasize on the importance in a way of networking in such a position, right? And obviously, reiterating what you said is doing the research prior to having a conversation, but then being open to have the actual conversation and asking for help and feedback and then moving forward. So yeah, thank you for sharing. It's amazing because again, as an aspiring entrepreneur myself and having entrepreneur friends, we're always looking into what's the key to success, and it's not like a linear thing for everyone, right? You're always looking for something that applies specifically to your business. And so yeah, the tips that you're sharing definitely would be valuable to someone, and it's surely valuable to me right now. So again, thank you so much for sharing, Melodie. And for anyone in the audience who would like to connect with Melodie and Curù Skin in general, you can do so through Facebook and Instagram at Curù Skin. And make sure to check out their website. She was just talking about, their friend being graphic designer and all that. So make sure to check out their work as well on their website at curuskin.com. That being said, there's always one thing that we like to ask before ending the chat is, what is one thing that brings you joy right now?
Oh, right now it has to be Christmas time because it comes once a year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that includes everything, like literally the food, the music, even if it's like not Christmas music, just like having this time to relax on some good music and, see friends and family that you don't have a chance to see during the crazy year times of the year. Yeah, that 100% is bringing me so much joy. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and how are you coping with the new restrictions and all that in place right now?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. The first thing that I think about, like in terms of the plans were like events and, I guess like markets where I can be present and like interact with customers. That is kind of like up in the air now. But I mean, there's tons of businesses online and like events online that do support, like still run these kinds of events online. So just, yeah, I think it's important for any business to just like stay on top of like research current trends and like what's happening to find those opportunities for yourself so you don't miss out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And again, well, thank you so much, Melody. This was an absolute pleasure to have you for the past half an hour and to just really learn more about your heritage, your culture, how it all started for Curù Skin, and how you implemented your um, whatever you've learned through academics and also your personal experiences and how you brought all of this together. It was just very interesting to learn more about Curù Skin, and I'm very grateful to have had this opportunity to have this chat with you. And again, for anyone in the audience, you can connect with Melodie and learn more about Curù Skin on Facebook and Instagram at Curù Skin, and then check out their website as well, and learn more about their products and even try them out. So you can do so at curuskin.com. And again, for anyone who has sensitive skin or who would like to learn more about the product that would be good for them, or you've, had some, like you felt that you were underrepresented when it comes to skin care, make sure to connect with Melodie and have a conversation started. I'm pretty sure she will be able to help you out and really advise you on what is good for your skin. Yeah, so Melodie, thank you so much for joining us today. It was very interesting. I can see in the comments right here in the chat, someone saying that it was such an interesting chat. I'm so glad they were able to join. Thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah, thanks.
And I'm not sure if you caught that at the beginning, but this is our final IG Founders Live chat for this year, and it was a very lively one. So again, thank you so much for being part of it, Melodie, and also our audience.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today for this chat. And that being said, I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Thanks so much for the opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. Looking forward to connecting with you all. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.